This is the new Pixel 7a, and at first glance, you might mistake it for the Pixel 7. Google's new budget phone has a lot in common with its flagship Pixel, and the similarities go way beyond design. The Pixel 7a starts at $499, making it $100 cheaper than the Pixel 7. It's also $50 more expensive than the Pixel 6a was last year. But that higher price does come with some additional benefits. Unlike the Pixel 6a, the Pixel 7a supports a higher refresh rate for the screen, face unlock, and wireless charging. Plus, it has the same Tensor G2 processor as the Pixel 7 and a sharper camera. I've been using the Pixel 7a for a couple of days, and so far I'm really impressed with its excellent camera, attractive design, and the similarities it shares with the Pixel 7. With the Pixel 7a, Google has done a good job at bridging the gap between its main Pixel line and its more budget-friendly Pixels. In fact, I can't think of a major reason to choose the pricier Pixel 7 over the 7a. Here's a closer look at what my experience has been like so far. The Pixel 7a looks a lot like the Pixel 7. The redesigned camera bar is present on the back of the device, and both phones have similar metallic matte edges. You may remember that I praised the Pixel 6a's design last year since it felt very premium for a phone under $500. Luckily, Google maintained that approach with the Pixel 7a, and it works really well. I'm actually wondering if it inspired Samsung to up its game when it comes to the design for its Galaxy A series. As I noted in my hands-on, the Galaxy A54 5G, which is Samsung's direct competitor to the Pixel 7a, has a much more elegant design than the previous Galaxy A53. The Pixel 7a has a 6.1-inch screen just like the Pixel 6a. But this time, you have the option to boost the refresh rate up to 90 Hz for smoother scrolling. I didn't always notice a huge difference compared to the Pixel 6a, which lacks this option, but there were some instances in which flipping through my Twitter feed or scrolling around the operating system felt faster. However, I still feel like the Pixel 7a's screen is too dim, especially when using the phone outdoors. I had to crank the brightness all the way up on a few occasions. The Pixel 7a has an impressive camera for a phone of its price. It inherits a lot of the familiar features we've seen on previous Pixels, such as photo unblur, magic eraser, and long exposure mode. The Pixel 7a surprisingly has a higher resolution main camera even than the Pixel 7. That's 64 megapixels on the Pixel 7a versus 50 megapixels on the Pixel 7. In my experience, photos taken on both phones looked really similar. There was even an instance in which I preferred the lighting in the Pixel 7a's photo over the Pixel 7's. I also thought the Pixel 7a did a better job of capturing color outdoors compared to the Galaxy A54. Samsung's phone made colors look overblown and washed out in some circumstances, while the 7a's color was more natural. The Pixel 7a also performs well in low lighting, similar to the Pixel 7 and Galaxy A54. I also found it was a lot faster at snapping photos in the dark compared to the Pixel 6a. None of these phones have a dedicated telephoto lens, so if you want to zoom, you'll have to rely on digital zoom. The Pixel 7a has an 8x zoom just like the Pixel 7, which is slightly closer than the 6a's 7x zoom. But the Galaxy A54 has the closest zoom with a 10x digital zoom. You can check out my written review for more details about the Pixel 7a's camera, but the bottom line is that you can expect a really similar camera experience across both the Pixel 7 and 7a. The Pixel 7a runs on Google's Tensor G2 processor, which is the same chip inside the Pixel 7. Performance feels similar between the two phones, which is no surprise. Apps open quickly, and the camera launches almost instantly. I couldn't run our usual benchmark tests because they weren't available for the Pixel 7a at the time of my review, but I'll add them to my written review as soon as possible. Still, Google's chip is more about enabling new features rather than speed alone. The Tensor chip is part of what powers Pixel-specific features and improvements, especially those involving language translation and speech and image processing. Photo Unblur, which sharpens old photos, is one example of this. You'll also get many of the same software tools and apps found on other Pixel phones, like Google's Recorder app, and its suite of phone calling features like Hold for Me, which has Google Wait on Hold for you. When it comes to battery life, the Pixel 7a can get through a full day without issue. On a day in which I primarily use the 7a for browsing the web, checking email, playing games, taking photos, and recording a couple of videos, I had 41% of the battery left after roughly 16 hours of use. For most of the day, I had the brightness set to 50%, although I cranked it all the way up for about 15 minutes when outside. I also had the high refresh rate setting turned on and the always-on display turned off. I'm mentioning these things because they usually impact battery life significantly. The Pixel 7a also supports wireless charging, which may be important if you're thinking about upgrading and use a wireless charger with your current device. It's also notable for this price range considering the Pixel 6a and Galaxy A54 don't have wireless charging. The Pixel 7a is a promising step forward for Google's budget phone. In fact, it makes it kind of hard to recommend the Pixel 7. Both phones take excellent photos, even though there are some hardware differences. And they have a lot of the same performance and software features since they both run on the Tensor G2 chip. The Pixel 7a is $50 more expensive than the Galaxy A54 and the Pixel 6a's launch price from last year. But that price increase brings face unlock, wireless charging, more RAM, and a higher resolution camera, so it feels justified. I also think the Pixel 7a's camera produces better photos when shooting outdoors compared to the Galaxy A54. However, there are some things Samsung does better, especially when it comes to screen brightness. So what do you think of the Pixel 7a? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to check out our written review for more details. And don't forget to subscribe for more smartphone reviews. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.